Hi, Kelly.
Yes.
I'd love to have you tell us a little bit about your story.
Um, a little bit about my backstory. I grew up in foster care. From the time I was 6 to 16. Became emancipated at 16 years old. Had no family, had no direction. Was in and out of juvenile institutions. 22 homes in 9 years. Most of those were because of my behavior and attitude. Um, was lost. I joined the military. Um, Went on a few tours, found some friends. Sauter City was one of my hardest experiences in the military. I got blown up May 1st, 2008. I lost a really good friend that day. Um, in the back of our striker, he landed in my lap. Initially, when I felt for a pulse, I didn't catch anything. My squad leader, he asked if anybody was alive, and I said, no, we got one KIA. It was reported on the radio, sent up to chain of command, and I was a private, brand new. I was literally 60 days out of basic training. And the first thing that popped in my head was our training that said, no matter what, even if they're dead, keep trying. And so I pulled out an Israeli bandage and I started wrapping his head. And I started to try to do CPR, but I started talking. And I was like, Kyle, if you're there, if you can hear me, squeeze my hand. And I got that faint squeeze. I put in a J hook into his lungs. He had a bunch of debris into his throat and his esophagus. We got to Cobb Callahan. And at that moment, our striker would not release the doors. So I started to initially do a manual drop, and I'm yelling at everybody to clear the ramp. And Sergeant Arambula, our first sergeant at the time, Sergeant AB, he opened up the man door, and they had a stretcher, and we got him out. And he passed away on the 15th of 2008. Ever since that day, it kind of set into reality that I didn't know what I got myself into. But I had a family to help me guide and help me work through a lot of the pain I was going through. I then further on went on another deployment. I lost a son during that deployment. And I came back and I didn't want to live. Didn't want to exist. Because my family started to feel like they were turning on me. I was a weak individual in their unit mentally and couldn't cope. And so I turned to what I knew best, and that was drugs and alcohol. I got kicked out of the military on what's other than honorable discharge because of my actions and my attitude. It took me 11 years to straighten my life out in and out of jailhouses and the system, to realize that I was grown up by the system. I was raised by the system. I didn't know how to speak for myself. I didn't know how to be myself. And it wasn't until I met the Warrior Bonfire program that truly gave me purpose, truly gave me worth. It gave me an understanding of why I'm here. One of the biggest sayings that still sticks to my head, and I saw it on a wall on my very first bonfire at the Corcoran Ranch in South Dakota. God doesn't waste pain. And so my pain is for something. And now I am here with the help of Warrior Bonfire program, trying to figure out how to direct my pain for good. And so I am hopefully going to try to implement a program, something similar to what I've experienced out here in Colorado. The multitude of wisdom that I've heard the similarities. I mean, even having some of the individuals that are just volunteers having a similar scenario, not just recently in their own lives, has once again made me realize that I do have a family, and that family is vast, it's wide, and it's out there. I just have to look for it. And I'm ever so grateful for everything that I've experienced, because now I have purpose, and I hope to give somebody else purpose in that direction in life. That's it.
Thank you much.